Hi, I just wanted to let you know that booking is now open for my next Professional Reiki Practitioner course. I would be absolutely delighted if you'd like to join me and potentially join the many Reiki practitioners who are now moving into a more professional way of offering Reiki in the world. I'm really delighted that my course is now verified by the Reiki Council, and that means that by completing the course successfully, you'll be able to be fast-tracked by one of the verifying organisations. And if you wish to join the CNHC Complementary and Natural Healthcare Council register, which will give members of the public and those in the medical professions confidence in choosing you as a Reiki practitioner. I've had the pleasure of being a Reiki practitioner for over 30 years now. So this course is really based on my own experience and my work with the various Reiki organizations, the Reiki Association, Reiki Council, also various conferences that I attended about professional practice and public practice of Reiki. What I teach is based on real experience, and it includes, facing up to some of the difficulties that you may face as a Reiki practitioner. So knowing these difficulties and challenges you may face, I've designed the course to help you be as confident and competent as a practitioner as you can be as you start out on this wonderful path of being a Reiki practitioner. So most of this course will take place online, which means you don't have to travel, but there is a final weekend if you wish to actually complete the course, which will be in person, because ultimately there's no substitute for actually being there with your hands on, given that that's what we're exploring. So you might like to know a little bit about what the course involves. You can find out more on my website, of course. One of the things you will have started, no doubt, with your Reiki treatment practice is treating yourself. And that is still going to be a fundamental aspect of being a Reiki practitioner. So we start with self-care. What does it mean and why is it important for a Reiki practitioner who's working with the public? And then we go on to explore how you actually give the treatment. Some of the hand positions you may have learned in first and second degree or may be appropriate for family and friends and perhaps less so for working with the public. So would you know the difference? And are there extra hand positions that might be useful? That's another thing that we'll explore. And then it's important how you present your Reiki treatment in the public and how you prepare your space where you're going to give Reiki treatments to inspire confidence in those that you treat. So we'll explore that. As you meet members of the public, how you communicate with them is going to be very important. So there'll be a module on that. One of the things about becoming a professional Reiki practitioner is that our role changes. We're no longer a family friend or somebody's sister giving a Reiki treatment. We are setting ourselves up in the world in that role of professional Reiki practitioner. So what does that actually mean? That's one of the things we'll be exploring as well in another of the modules. What the expectations we should have of ourselves in order to give a good representation of Reiki, and also what the wider world expects of us. If we're putting ourselves out there as professionals, how will the world see us? What will the world expect? So that's another of the modules that we'll be exploring now. And then, of course, there are legal things that become relevant when you actually become a professional practitioner. Obviously, you need to fill in the tax return if you're earning money. And you need to be complying with local legal regulations in terms that are often to do with basically keeping people safe and comfortable with what you're doing. So you need to know about those. You need to know about those regulations. And a lot of them are very good common sense guidance anyway of things you need to be thinking about when somebody comes to you that you don't know and is receiving a service from you. And then, of course, there's the wonderful aspect of money, which as a professional is going to be important. Many Reiki practitioners do ask for money in return for the service that they offer in Reiki treatments, but do they really ask for an equitable exchange? This is another thing we'll be exploring, because it's not just about giving something in exchange. As a professional, you also need to be thinking about how that's going to sustain you in your living day to day, to provide food, somewhere to live, a car to get to the treatment place. You also need to be paying for laundry, the treatment couch. There are many other things that are expenses that are part of being a professional practitioner. So we will explore that and how to set a fee that recognizes both those aspects of what needs to be covered and also the value of the service that you're offering. So once you have this wonderful practice, it's time to let the world know. So how do you do that? How do you share with the world that you are ready to serve them? So that's another thing we'll explore. And in the final weekend, we will meet and I will be able to see how you are as a practitioner, how you're giving treatments, how you are interacting with your potential client. I do hope that you'll join me on this course. The world needs more confident and competent practitioners so that even people who know Reiki already will be able to call on a Reiki practitioner at their time of greatest need. Wouldn't it be wonderful if Reiki practitioners were an automatic member of staff in hospitals, for example, or that if someone in a hospital requested Reiki as part of their treatment package, the doctors and nurses would just go, oh yes, that's a really good idea, and were able to call on a practitioner they trust and that they knew would be able to help that person. Could you be one of those people? I'd love you to be.